Hey everybody, it's Max J. Miller, co-author with Robert Hollis of the upcoming How Is That Working? And you probably heard me talk about this idea of the hero's journey as this path by which somebody leaves the familiar and goes on a journey and an adventure, discovers something, taps into some source of power, inspiration, and then comes full circle back and infuses themselves back into their original setting, their original community, workplace, home, whatever, bringing with them a new life, a new energy, a new vitality. And that's the classic hero's journey. That's the classic story upon which all of your favorite movies and novels are based. The basic structure. And Joseph Campbell called it the universal story. And that story, that story is really telling us over and over again is that life transforms. That life is not this continuous thing, that what happened in the past doesn't predict what's going to happen in the future. Even though a lot of times in life, that's how we live. We live as though, well, you know, you hear sayings in your corporate setting or in your environment, you hear sayings like, well, that's not the way we do it around here. And that's the expression of someone who's living in this idea that it's all one continuous line, that, you know, the past just leads into the future. But look around. It's really not true. And the people who really, carry the day are people who are willing to blink about the past, who are willing to sort of let that go and set that aside and imagine a future that perhaps wasn't imaginable to others. One of my favorite quotes on this subject is from a guy who wrote in the early part of the 1900s, in the 20th century. His name's Eric Hoffer, and he was often known as the longshoreman philosopher, and had a lot of really pithy things to say. And he said, he was writing, like I say, about the 1940s, I believe, and wrote this: In times of change, learners inherit the earth, while the learned find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. I just love that quote. Because, you know, it's so easy to see how, you know, the experts, can say, well, that can't work or that can't happen. And then somebody comes along and says, ooh, I didn't get the memo. And then they invent a whole new field or something brand new. And so these are the people who get that basic idea of transformation, that life is not a straight line, that life does transform. Necessarily, life is renewed and new and different. And so there have been very few people that I can say are my true champions of the idea of creating and, creating something absolutely new. One of the most innovative, clever, creative people I've ever met in my life, who's a real champion of every man's creativity, is my former business partner and longtime friend, C. McNair Wilson. Sometimes you hear me refer to him as Craig, sometimes as McNair. His pen name is C. McNair Wilson. And just recently, he wrote this brilliant book. It's called Hatch. Hatch, Brainstorming Secrets of a Theme Park Designer by C. McNair Wilson. Craig and I worked together at Walt Disney Imagineering, and prior to that, we had a theater company together in Florida, which chances are very good that you've seen a performance of SAC Theater somewhere in your life, and it was based on an idea of Craig's, a particular style of street theater, of storytelling theater, that was based on an idea that Craig had, and has been very, very successful in the world. Anyway, Craig is just brilliant. He travels around the world and speaks to people and corporations about recapturing your creative spirit. And this book is based on some ideas that we developed, kind of a systematic approach to creative thinking, specifically collaborative work, people working together in teams. And I'll tell you, if there's one place today that really needs that level of inspiration, some new way of thinking about collaboration and real true teamwork. It's in the corporate environment. And so if you know somebody that's in that environment, that a manager, a leader, somebody that really wants to have a corporation that really works and is really inspired and on fire, get them this book, Hatch. If you go to Amazon, by the way, and search for this, I discovered you have to type in Hatch by C. McNair Wilson. So that will get it. There's a couple of other books apparently named Hatch. So it's brand new, just came out, so search for it. Maybe that's something you want to give away as a gift to somebody who can really use it in the corporate setting. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. You know, writers are readers typically, and I'll tell you, this is such a fantastic read. It's 270 pages of sheer laughter. He tells some of the most amazing stories of life at Imagineering, before that, all kinds of wonderful stuff, and he ties it together beautifully. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, and I'm going to continue on in this exploration of the differences and the pros and the cons of being a worker versus being an employee, versus being a business owner, and get into a little bit more depth based on responses that people have given me. And we'll continue on with that tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye-bye for now.